Is National Treasure my top pick, or am I fading the chalk at the Whitney? Find out. Find out by watching to the end, is what I meant to say. Okay, anyway, we are here. Trust the Profits. It is the Whitney. We're doing a full field rundown. I am the formula. Can't wait to talk to you about this field. We got a field of, and next slide, please. 12 horses. There we go. 12 horses entered into this field. We just got the we just got the odds recently here, and see that National Treasure, the favorite, is 9-5 in a field of 12. Don't know about that. Don't know about that. We're going to talk about that in a bit here. This is a race that will be run on Saturday, August 3rd. It is a G1. It is worth
$1 million.
It is at Saratoga. It is 9 furlongs on dirt. Got some horses who have run against each other here. We got some horses that have some early speed. Very interesting setup here. Got a drop for that as well, but I'm going to pass on it for now because let us get on with the slides. Start with post time. When I originally saw post time on here, I thought insta scratch, or not insta scratch, insta toss. Thank you. But damn, post time looking pretty good as of late. 8 wins in 11 races, 100% in the money. This is going to be his biggest challenge yet, though. But he was in. He's been in some rated races here. The Metropolitan Handicap, second place to National Treasure, 6 legs behind, but still, he was up there. Second place to Messier in the Westchester, closing from 5th, 6th place area, losing by less than a length in that one, beating Charge It, who's also in this race. Won the Carter Stakes, a mile in that race, I believe. Only 4 horses, closed for the win, won by a neck over Castle Chaos. Significant horse here. In a field of extremely significant horses, is it going to be enough for post time? Disarm. Disarm. When I was talking about the Stephen Foster, I was getting excited about Disarm. Seeing a return from Disarm. Previous to that, we'd seen him at the Travers, closing for second place in that one behind Arcangelo, 1 length behind Arcangelo. So Disarm, it seemed like he was on the up and up. A year later, had that AOC race at Churchill that he won, getting ready for the Stephen Foster. Ran against Kings Barnes in that one, 7 lengths behind. Never really got going in that race. First major race in about a year, so still sort of feeling out the waters. What is left here for Disarm? Is this the race that he bounces back in? I mean, it's a bigger race than the Stephen Foster. It's going to be a difficult one for Disarm unless things just sort of come his way. I was on the fence. I don't like to give up a horse after one race, but this is a tough field. National Treasure, 13 races, only 4 wins. 9-5 favorite, 4 wins in 13 races. Yeah. First place at the Metropolitan Handicap, as we spoke about before. 4th place at the Saudi Cup. I mean, that's a significant race. 4th place in Saudi is pretty darn good. First at the Pegasus, just sitting off the pace most of the race, charging down the stretch, but nearly caught by Senior Buscador in that one, a 150 overall time, which I didn't think was really that significant. Didn't think that it was a really strong time in that race, a really strong Pegasus, but had some good horses there. National Treasure able to hold up in that one. Second at the BC Dirt Mile, setting up the pace, being overcome by Cody's Wish, to lose by a nose in that one. 4th at the Awesome again. I mean, it's a horse that's been in some pretty big races. I make fun of the 4 wins, but they're pretty 4 significant wins. You got the Preakness in there, you got the Metropolitan, the Pegasus, and whatnot. But I will say this is not a slam dunk for National Treasure. A horse that, when gets challenged on the pace, sometimes starts to wilt under pressure, like we see with Fierceness sometimes. I believe the same can be seen with National Treasure from time to time, not to tip my hand too much there. Warrior Johnny, 4 wins in 19 races, ran 7 allowance races leading up to this one. The last time he ran in a graded stakes race was the Jockey Club Gold Cup in 2023. Last time out, won a 9 furlong 120K allowance optional claimer. That time there, the 147 should go on that line there. Pretty darn good time, a 147. I think he was only like one or 2 seconds off of the track record, which on an allowance optional claimers stands out a bit. Speed figure was pretty high for that one for Warrior Johnny, which is probably why he's getting entered into this race. But the last graded stakes race, seventh place, second to last in the 2023 Jockey Club Gold. Starting first, faded pretty quickly in that one, ended up losing by 10 lengths to Bright Future. Tyler Gaffalione getting them out here for Warrior Johnny. First Mission, the Brad Cox horse, Florent Giraud. 5 wins in 9 races for First Mission. Another horse that is going to be pushing the pace. Fourth at the Stephen Foster. Took the pace early on, got some pressure from Skippylongstocking also in this race. Fell back to fourth with a 3-length loss there. Before that, did win the Alashiba Stakes, going 8.5 furlongs in that one, sitting 2 lengths off the lead, closing to beat T.O. St. Denis by 4 lengths. Before that, won the Essex Handicap at Oaklawn Park, going 9 furlongs in that one, sitting a length off the lead, beating War Campaign. So you can see what the trend is here for First Mission, sitting just off the pace, applying some pressure, charging at the end, hoping that you got more than the horse in front of you. It's going to be a couple horses vying for that spot, though. Il Miracolo, 4 wins in 20 races, third at the Alashiba that we were just talking about, 4 lengths behind First Mission in that one. Did win the G3 Ghost Sapper, starting close to the pace in third, moving up for win by a neck over Tumbarumba. Fun to say. Often more competitive in the G2s and G3s. I think he does get outmatched in this one. Fun horse to watch. Crupi, 5 wins in 16 races, looked really good as of late. Second to Next by 9 lengths in the Brooklyn. Sorry, sorry, New Yorkers. In the Brooklyn, going a 1 3/8 miles in that one. 9-length loss to Next, but it's Next. Started out in the pack and was closing from deep to get that second place finish. First at the Suburban, the G2, going 1 1/4 miles. So this is a horse that likes to go pretty long. Closing from deep to get a half-length win over Bendoug. Third at the Pegasus race that we just talked about, starting in 12th of 12, so it's way back there. Closing along with Senior Buscador, not nearly as close to the finish as Senior Buscador, 4 lengths behind Senior and National Treasure. After the Penn Derby, starting to see a different Crupi here, and we get Irad Ortiz on the mount. So Crupi, I think, is a definite consideration here. Tumbarumba. Fun to say, as we mentioned before, 5 wins, 5 second places in 15 races. So yeah, 66% of the time getting a place pretty strong. Second at the Henshin, starting in 4th, closing for a 1-length loss to Cagliostro. Still not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but there you have it. Second at the Ghost Sapper after being in first most of the race, yielding to a charging Il Miracolo, who we just talked about. Did win the Fred Hooper, a 1-miler, starting out in 4th, working his way up to beat Castle Chaos in that one. Tumbarumba. Bright Future, one of 2 Todd Pletcher horses in this race. Javier Castellano getting the mount in this one. 5 wins in 9 races. Winner of the Salvatore Mile, starting out in 1 length behind, moving back to 2 to 3 lengths, and then having a stronger charge at the end to overcome Coastal Mission by almost 2 lengths in that one. 6 at the BC Classic, starting out in the back, moving to last at the 3/4 of a mile mark, and then rallying to to get 6, losing to White Abario by 3 3/4 lengths. Winner of the Jockey Club Gold, beating Proxy by a nose in that one. Yeah, horse that looks like he gets counted out. It's what we've seen a couple times from Bright Future. Charges, maintains, maybe 2 or 3 lengths off, falls back a few more lengths, and then finds that second win and charges towards the end. Could work out well in this race. Skippylongstocking. Early speed, here you go. So third at the Stephen Foster after battling First Mission for first early on in the race, fading, but holding on and re-rallying, which I was impressed by for third, 2 lengths behind Kings Barnes in that one. Won the Oaklawn Handicap, working at the front with county final, pushing the pace, overtaking before the stretch, winning by 2 lengths over Highland Falls in that one. Did fade to third in the BC Dirt Mile after pushing the pace 3 3/4 lengths to Cody's Wish, but Cody's Wish, quite a monster. Won the G2 Charlestown Classic over O'Connor. Second place at the Cornhusker. It's a horse that keeps getting better and better. Pace setter, pushing the pace. Definitely going to be there for Saffie Joseph and Jose Ortiz. Arthur's Ride. Here's another horse that I was looking at thinking, what is this horse doing here? And then I looked at his last race. So this is his first stakes race, right? 6 races, 3 and 2 in those 6 races. So, winning half the races so far. But again, this is his first stakes race. So the last race he ran, allowance optional claimer, 1 1/4 mile, going some distance, setting the pace in that one, winning by 12 lengths, overperform. That part is not nearly as impressive. It's impressive, winning by 12 lengths in a 1 1/4 mile race. Any race, you win by 12 lengths, it's impressive. It gets attention. But this one, he's just over 1 second off of the track record, which obviously is not a record that probably gets pushed very often. Probably not a whole lot of 1 1/4 mile races. But at the same time, it did grab my attention. This is a horse that maybe starting to rise up, find his way into the G1s, the G2s, and maybe there's a place for this horse in the top 3. Just throwing it out there. Arthur's Ride grabbed my attention. And finally, Charge It. Yeah, Charge It. Remember one time we were talking about Charge It. Maybe this is the surprise horse to win the Kentucky Derby. And my, how things have changed. 4 wins in 15 races. 5th at the Hanshin, 3rd at Westchester, 4th at the Dirt Mile, 4th at the Woodward last year, 4th place at the Whitney last year. I mean, how the mighty have fallen. This is a horse that I think a lot of people had a lot of hopes and dreams for. And now just sort of middling, hoping to grab onto that 3rd place here and there. Unless Todd Pletcher can turn this horse around. He's got the right jockey. He's got John Velasquez in the mount there. But yeah, this was a horse that I think back in the day there was some high hopes and dreams for. So that brings us to the end here. What am I saying? My safe play is Skippylongstocking. I think it's a little crazy for me to put it this way, but Skippylongstocking. But when I look at the pace, 9 to 5, do I like National Treasure? Not at all. Comment could come back to haunt me, but here it is. National Treasure. I don't like when he gets challenged on the pace, especially for an entire 9 furlongs. First Mission's going to challenge him. Skippylongstocking's going to challenge him. I think of the 3 horses, Skippylongstocking holds up the best when there's pace pressure. That's based on what we've just seen with the Stephen Foster, what I've seen in a couple other races. I think Skippylongstocking, in terms of being able to hold on to the pace, might be the more safe play. For value, kind of like Arthur's Ride. I think that there's going to be room for closers and deep closers in this race. I think things could end up falling apart depending on how the surface is and that Saratoga dirt. That's why if you look in my box here, I've got Crupi and Arthur's Ride. I think those two coming into close. You could throw Bright Future in there as well. I thought about that post time. I mean, there's a whole bunch of them. Disarm, who I think could possibly bounce back after getting back in the rhythm here after the Stephen Foster, but I ended up with Skippylongstocking, Crupi, Arthur's Ride, and I'm throwing First Mission in there because I do think he can hold on a little bit better than National Treasure. I think National Treasure's not even going to fall in the money. I think there's money to be made on this race. Don't know if it's the picks I have right here, but if people keep betting down National Treasure, if he goes deeper than 9 to 5, call me crazy, but I don't think he's going to be able to hold up in this one. There you have it. Those are my thoughts. Hit me up in the comments. Am I crazy to fade the Baffert horse? Baffert horse, 4 wins in 15 races, I believe it was. Check my numbers on that. Make sure I'm right. Made mistakes in the past before, but honestly, I'm not a big fan of National Treasure in this race. Okay, see you in the comments.